Now I feel like to fit this in the mix a little bit more, it should be sidechained. So I'm sure you've seen plenty of people do this on other tutorials, but I'll run through it again. So I'm going to copy the kick pattern and rename this to side. I'll bring the volume right down for this because it's just the trigger for the compressor. I'm going to reduce the size of the note. That just means it's going to give the compressor a bit more space to work. Go to the channel that I want to affect. In this case, it's the vocal. Ableton's own compressor is great for this because it's a simple drop-down menu. Extend the size of the compressor. Hit sidechain, drop the menu down, and select the trigger channel. So bringing the threshold down just a little bit, you can hear it start to work already. Now, it's probably good practice to extend the look ahead. There's a function here. 10 milliseconds will analyze what's happening in the track 10 milliseconds before it's actually happened, which allows the compressor just to work a little bit more smoothly. Let's see how that fits. Okay, probably doesn't even need this. Maybe just a real short burst of it. It's better. I was finding that was losing a bit of energy, being the extended breath. Maybe. Yeah, keep it on the offbeat. Okay, it's probably time for some reverbs. So what I'm going to do, I never start with an Ableton template, so it is on the very basic preset state at the moment. So I'm going to delete these and put in a much better sounding reverb. I'm a big fan of the Lexicon. The Lexicon plate reverb is at the moment my go-to reverb, and I'll set up 2 of these. Return channel A is a long or medium plate. I'll probably stick with a medium for this one. Let's choose a preset. We can always adjust this later. I just want to get, a rough idea of how it's going to sound. And we can always refine it as we go along to a later stage of the track. The reason I'm putting them on return channels as well is so that I can use the same space of the track for a lot of different sounds. Probably the majority of the sounds will either be in one of these 2 spaces, which just keeps a consistent ambience for the track rather than having a different space on each individual insert. So yeah, it was this vocal that I wanted to add it to mainly. And let's name this box loop. And bring the volume of that percussion down just a little bit. You'll see that as I'm going through the track, I will be mixing a rough mix as I'm going along just to get an idea of where things fit, if they fit, what needs more work, and again, just eliminating more work at the end of the project. Try and get it sounding tight before, I've even got an arrangement in. It's just a loop at the moment. So, what was this now? That's it. See if we can nick anything else from this. Maybe a bit of this laugh. You know, the tiniest amount. Now, because that's only coming out of the left side, I don't know if you can notice there, it's just, it's only coming out of the left speaker, so I'm going to use Ableton's utility plugin. It's a really handy little thing for stereo width or making things into mono, which is what I want to do for this. So I'm going to reduce the width, probably not all the way, but you can see the difference. The output is now giving some content for the right speaker as well. Just give it a little gain boost. Right, okay, let's extend the arrangement. So you can see I've got this looped, and what I'm going to do, well, first of all, is copy this sidechain layer and extend this right out. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep it in the loop, because then this loop section, I'm going to right click on the top and duplicate the time. What's going on here? Duplicate the time, there we go. Just extend this right out. Oops. Same with this one. If you remember, this is the first variation of the Korg loop, sorry, without the extra toms. So this will be the beginnings of the intro. Right, so I like to work in 32 beat sections, so I keep all of the clips the same length. I just always work like this, so it helps me keep track of where I'm up to in the tune. Whoops, I don't want to duplicate that. What am I doing? Okay. So now it's probably time to get a rough breakdown in. So yeah, it's just a long loop at this stage, and it will continue to be that way for a little while I build on it. But the best way for me to get a breakdown in, recently anyway, is using this little filter patch that I built in Ableton. It's a very simple low pass, high pass filter. As you can see here, adjustable resonances. The beauty of this thing is when it's at the very bottom, the device switches off, so it's bypassed, and as soon as I start to increase the frequency, it will turn itself on. So it can be on throughout the track without me automating the bypass function. So I'm gonna just bring up the frequency for the drums. And just keep it quite loopy at this stage. But this will allow me to build on the arrangement, get some effects in, some more ambient sounds, maybe some melody. Let's just see what happens.